On the 8th of March 1962, a passenger plane flying to Adana crashed into the Taurus Mountains for some unknown reason during its landing. All 11 people on board, including 8 passengers and 3 crew members, died. Ahmet Delibalta, the owner of the Havuz Casino in Adana, was among the dead. Accidents were always possible, but about a week after the crash, a child born to a different family unrelated to Ahmet Delibalta turned 3 and said, "I am Ahmet Delibalta, the owner of the Havuz Casino," which made the incident seem different. You can also find this in a book by Ian Stevenson. He is a Canadian-born American psychiatrist, the founder and director of the Division of Perceptual Studies at the University of Virginia School of Medicine. Our main hero, Ahmet Delibalta, was born in Adana in 1936. He owned a casino called Havuz and a bakery. He had 3 children with his first wife, Miraban, and was also married to a second woman named Fahima while he was still married to Miraban. In 1962, the woman singing at the casino said she was leaving. Ahmet, who was looking for a new singer for the venue, found the perfect person in Istanbul. At the time, his second wife, Fahima, was pregnant. There, he met a singer called Rengin Arda, and they made a deal together. They were probably traveling from Istanbul to Ankara, and then on to Adana by plane. However, the plane they were traveling in crashed in a snowy area of the Taurus Mountains, 3,974 meters above sea level. It took the rescue teams 3 days to reach the wreckage at the top of the mountain. Sadly, none of the 11 passengers and crew members on board survived. Nobody knew if the people who died were killed by the crash or by frostbite. While the bodies were being recovered, the wrong body was identified as Ahmet's. His brother had gone to find his body. However, he was in a state of shock when he was asked to identify the body and was unable to make the right decision. He said that he couldn't stand to see his brother's body and that he would have to identify him by his clothes. Ahmet's brother made a mistake. Ahmet Delibalta was thought to be buried there, but in fact, it was a Jewish man who was buried. This caused an uproar in Turkey, but as always, people soon forgot about it. Latifa and her husband Yusuf lived in Adana. About a week after Ahmet's death, the couple had a son. This was on the 13th of March 1962. Their newborn child was the couple's 15th child, but neither the couple knew Ahmet nor Ahmet knew them. But for some reason, their newborn baby Arkan was scared of planes and cried whenever one flew over their house. At first, the family thought it was just a baby's reaction to the loud noise. But even when the child was 2 or 3 years old, whenever he heard the sound of an airplane, he would run away scared and try to hide behind his mother's chair or whatever he could find. Arkan was a child who could not speak properly until that day. When he was about 3 or 4 years old, one day he told his mother that she was not his real mother. He said that his real name was Ahmet Delibalta. He also told her that he used to own a casino called Havuz and a bakery, that he had gone to Istanbul to find a singer, and that his plane crashed on the way back from there, but that he froze to death, not because the plane crashed. The author of the book about the incident, Ian Stevenson, was particularly impressed by Arkan's description because everyone involved thought the victims died on impact. Only the people involved in the investigation knew that some passengers survived the crash but froze to death. Arkan even knew that Ahmet's body had been mistaken for that of a Jew on the plane. When Arkan told Ahmet's brother about it, he said that his family was so ashamed of what had happened that they kept it a secret and only very close family members knew the truth. But the details given by 4-year-old Arkan were never-ending. He told the names of his father, mother, children, sister, even his mother-in-law, and all of his identifications were correct. After these conversations, the boy said that he wanted to go to the house of Miraban, his wife in his previous life. Her old home was close to his current family home. He knocked on the door and introduced himself, but it was not clear how convincing he was. When Arkan goes home, he tells all the details, and Miraban does not know what to do. But everything the boy says is true. His mother tries to stop this from happening because she thinks she might lose her son, or he might run away. Arkan was always trying to go back to the house he lived in his previous life. One day, Arkan says that he wants to see Ahmet's second wife Fahima, who is pregnant. The family is against the boy's plan, but they can't stop him. They go to the place he describes, thinking that at least he will not run away from home. Arkan's mother introduces herself. Fahima had already heard the claim that Arkan is the reincarnation of Ahmet. She didn't really believe it. Then she turns to Arkan and asks him if he knows me. And when he says that you are Fahima, my wife, she is shocked by what she has heard from a 4-year-old child. Meanwhile, Fahima points to her daughter, who is about Arkan's age, and asks, "Do you know who this is?" Arkan says, "I don't know her, but she is probably my child. When I left for Istanbul, you were pregnant. You were in a lot of pain. That much I remember." One by one, Arkan's words turn out to be true. The family is in shock, and the neighborhood is bewildered. The singer Rengin Arda, who died on the same plane as Ahmet Delibalta, had been to Adana once before. When she went to a German hairdresser to have her hair done, the hairdresser heard that she was a singer, and they took a photo of her. When Arkan's story is heard in the neighborhood, the hairdresser takes the photo to see if it's true. She goes to the boy's house, introduces herself, and without explaining anything, takes out the photo and shows it to the boy. She asks, "Do you know who this is?" When Arkan says, "You and the singer," the hairdresser asks, "Which singer?" The hairdresser and the family are shocked when Arkan says, "Rengin Arda." Arkan is right again, except that this has turned into something like a game, and Arkan knows more than this. After all, in his previous life, he said he was Ahmet. Arkan says that Ahmet Delibalta and his childhood friend Mithat used to swap watches when they were young. He even says that the watch he gave them had a tooth mark on the band. The family spoke to Mithat and explained what had happened. When the man found the watch and looked at the band, he saw that it had a tooth mark on it. Arkan, who is 4 years old, remembers that he had stolen a tray in his previous life, this time to go to a football match. He even says that this time he sold the tray for 0.25 Turkish lira with a different friend, Selim. Selim is contacted. The incident is explained to him, and Selim confirms it. He remembers that they did this for the ticket money 20 years before Ahmet died. This is what Ian Stevenson wrote in his book. He used different spiritual and technical words to support these events. In this blog, where the story was shared in 2015, a comment was written 3 years later, in 2018. Arkan is our uncle. He is alive now. Everything written is true. A year after the comment, someone wrote, "Please prove it to us." And a month later, another user left an email address with the word Delibalta, which is also Ahmet's surname. Another person who wrote the comment below says he is Arkan's brother. He says the story is true and that Arkan now lives in Germany. He says he used to be called Ahmet Delibalta. He gives Arkan's phone number for people who don't believe the story. He says, "Let those who do not believe call and hear from him personally." Another comment on the subject says, "Guys, the incident is real. I met with Arkan, who lives abroad. You have the chance to talk to him about it. He is a very educated, kind person. He also leaves a number that is different from the one above, but again, it has the Germany code. It will remain a mystery, and we will never know how true it is. Remember, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough."